Welcome to the Focus Hoops 2021 WBBL Trophy Final preview. Now joined by Nottingham Wildcats captain Siobhan Prior. Siobhan, obviously you're used to being at finals, but how excited are you to ditch Dan Rowledge for the day and get to lace your shoes up and play in yet another final?
Yeah, it's always like a bit bittersweet these days because I really love doing the finals with Dan, and I really love doing the Sky coverage. But playing is obviously like where my heart is, and the club's where my heart is. So just really excited to have another opportunity to bring some silverware back. It's been a little while, so.
Yeah, I was going to say it's almost been unusual for you. You've gone 3 years now without playing in a final. It's something that you obviously you've had great success with the club as a whole with finals. So just how excited are you for this group to get an opportunity to play in their first final after really sort of a 2-3 year cycle with now Kenrick taking over?
Yeah, really excited. I think we've done a lot of growing. The club's done a lot of growing over the last few years, and I think with the academy and bringing everything on with the academy, I think not that you drop the ball anywhere else, but when you add things, other things tend to suffer slightly. So I think now it's really exciting because, we've built back to a space where we're back on the stage that we were on before from a WBBL perspective. So I think that's really exciting, and that's come pretty quickly, considering all the other progressions that we've made. So that's really good. I'm really excited for this group of players to be in a final together. It's been a really difficult year, and I just think it's been made really easy by this group that we have. So it's been kind of hard to get to know each other, but again, the personalities that we have, it's just made it so much easier. Obviously Caz and Chelsea have been here for a few years now. Simone's back for a second year, Tia for a second year. So it's nice to have, the I guess longevity in some of those players that have been coming back. So that's helped us. And then, adding Chloe's been just fab, on the bench, off the court, on the court too. But I think just her influence, her positivity, and her, that she wants you to play well, but also to be a good teammate. And I think having someone like that being consistently the voice of that has been really helpful, especially for the younger players too. So she's made a big difference. Mo has made a big difference as well. She's just always positive, just a really hard worker, just a lovely person to be around and to have around the club. So yeah, I'm really excited for this group to hopefully win something together.
And obviously there, Siobhan, you talked about some of the challenges. This year's been a really unique year for everyone. So just talk about, as a team, what you've kind of gone through. Obviously, some health issues and some things around there, but also a lot of injuries you've had to kind of deal with, just yourself, not just yourself, but as a team. And that's kind of made your lineup really inconsistent at times.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think with the injury stuff, it has been really inconsistent, and I think we've relied on some of the academy players. Shania's played really well for us, and Praise has played really well for us too. So it has been a little bit up and down like that. But as far as COVID goes, I mean, everybody's in the same boat. It's been really difficult this year. But I think one thing that we tried to do as a club, and what the players have tried to do, is just to keep open lines of communication. And, just continue to meet about how comfortable do we feel? Is there anything else that we feel we want to ask the league for, ask the club for? And, sometimes it's been players saying, I don't feel comfortable to play. And the players that do feel comfortable, not judging them or not making them feel any kind of way for that, and vice versa. So, I think there was a little bit of a wobble when we went into the second lockdown, for sure. Everybody was, and everyone across the board was just not sure what they wanted to do. So I think I was really grateful to the WBBL, because when we reached out to them and asked if we could meet with them about our concerns, They were really positive about that. And, you know, Andy and Jim, they sat with us, the players. We had one player from each club, and asked us, like, what are we uncomfortable with, and like, what can the league do to help? And, you know, different measures have been put in place as a result of that. And I know just from my club's perspective that that's made a lot of people feel a lot more comfortable to play. And then I think the other part of it is just we've tried to change our mindset to, yes, we're taking this really seriously, but also we've decided to play. And as players, that's our choice. And we take the responsibility with whatever comes with that choice. And to just try and think of it as a privilege to be able to even interact with this amount of people in one group inside doing something that we love. You know, it's something that the rest of the country aren't able to do right now. And for our mental health, and just, you know, for the love of like the game and just seeing each other and getting to play, it's a real privilege, really. So yeah, it's been a journey, it's been up and down, but I think, you know, we've got through it the best we can, and we've done it by just openly communicating, really.
And sort of looking ahead to the final, obviously this is a Barking team. You've played twice this year already, not managed to win either game. So what are sort of your takeaways that you're taking as a group from those two games to build onto into Sunday's final?
Yeah, I think, you know, the first time we played them, I'm not taking anything away from like London. I said even live on Sky Sports last time, they are my favourite team this year, and I really like to watch them play. I think, you know, Mark's an outstanding coach, and he's always done amazingly with the teams that he's had. And now he's actually got a team full of like good players, like across the board. It makes it harder to beat him because they're coached well and they've got good players. So yeah, I really like watching them. But I think as far as like our matchups with them have gone this season, I think the first time we played them, you know, we had quite a few players out of the starting five. So, and also I think we let Cassie Breen go off in the first half. She's shown she's really successful in the first half in a lot of the games this season. So we didn't really lock down on that very well. The second time we played them, I think we played them a lot better. 3 of our starting 5 were inserted like back into the lineup for that game, and it was 3 of our players' first games back. So unlimited minutes, but still, you know, we had a lot more balance. Just a lot more depth, really, the second time we played them. And I think for 3 quarters, it was a really good game. We kept Breen quiet. We didn't do a great job on Kennedy Leonard. She's a tough guard. She's a great player. So I think, you know, maybe we focus in a little bit on that, a little bit more than we did before. But really, I think we just need to continue to focus on what we did better than we did in the first game. And I think the only thing we didn't do well in that game was play for 40 minutes. You know, 8 minutes of, you can't play for 2 minutes in a fourth quarter and think that you're going to come away with a win against one of the top teams in the league. So you have to put 40 minutes together, and I think that's what we'll be focusing on going into Sunday.
And just finally, just talk about, obviously with this group and this development, but sort of the British players coming through. You've obviously mentioned the likes that you've got in your academy with Shania, and Mariam's now playing more minutes than she has before. But obviously then Barking as well, that youth development, and how that the whole league is starting to grow with that youth and the progression you're seeing now as a more veteran player in this league.
Yeah, it's always been one of my favourite things to watch. I absolutely watch Loving Ines for Barking. She's just really exciting. She's 15 now, so we can't say, oh, she's only 14 anymore, but she is only 15. She's just, you know, she's just a really smart player. She's got like an old head on her shoulders. She doesn't panic. We tried to put her under a bit of pressure, especially in the first game that we played against her. She got rattled like one time, but it didn't stop her from going back to get the ball and bringing it up again. She just got like she's got grit, like inner confidence, and she's got poise that for someone of her age playing in that age, that level, you don't often see. So she's really exciting prospect for me. I'm looking forward to seeing how she develops, and you know, she's also got like Mark behind her too now, so she's going to learn a lot, and she's going to be prepared for sort of wherever she goes next. But it's going to be exciting just to watch her, because she's got, you know, like 3 years before we can watch her to grow before she has to go anywhere else. So yeah, that's going to be exciting for me to see. I've been proud of like our academy players, also really proud of Tia. I think we forget how young Tia actually is, because she stayed in England to go to university. But you know, she's not considered like academy age, but she's only a couple of years older than them, and she's a really big part of our team. She's taken on like a lot more like of a vocal role this year, which I've been really pleased to see. She's speaking out for the things that she thinks are important on the team. She's not holding back, and I'm really like proud of her for doing that, because it's something that, you know, didn't come easy to her in the beginning. So that's been really nice to see. But I think as a whole, across the league, I think we have to balance it, right? So I think we have to there has to be opportunities, not just for young British like academy age players, but British players that have stayed in the UK to go to university, British players that have just come back from the US at university. I think we have to be very mindful as a league when we're making decisions that affect, for example, how many British players we might be able to have on teams. I think it's really, really important that as a league, yes, the clubs want to win, but it's important that the league facilitates our national team. And I think it's really important that we provide opportunities for British players to continue to improve, and to continue to get better in our league, and balance that with good talent from overseas, but not flood the league with overseas talent at the expense of those younger British players. So it is a tough balance, but I think that's just my personal opinion. But I think that's the way forward, and I personally find it really exciting to watch younger British players in the league.
Yeah, and I think we've got an example of that with both teams this week. Obviously, with what you're doing with Nottingham and Kenrick and the whole academy system coming through, and obviously Barking Abbey London Lions do have those returning players like Paige and Shanice coming back. So I think for anyone that wanting to see that system in place, this is a great final to show that off. And obviously, best of luck in the final, Siobhan. And I'm sure you're wanting to add just another banner to the arena that you get to look at every day normally.
Yeah, we need another banner up there for sure. They're getting a little bit dusty up there.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, and good luck on Sunday.
Thanks, Mikey.